Hey everybody, George Harmer here with Californians for Energy and Science. We're so thankful that you chose to be with us tonight to find out what's going on in California. Today I have with me Fred Holmes, who's a staple in Taft, California and the surrounding communities.
Mike Umbro here, sitting with Rusty Reese, president of CA4ES, General Production Service, the largest oil field construction full service company, providing services here, locally owned, in the local community since what year?
1967.
1967. All right, I'm joined here by Jake Lopez, who has a deep experience in government affairs at the federal level and state level. And we're here in Buttonwillow at the home of Rick Garcia, who helps run West Kern Environmental. Well, your daughter Maria runs it, and we're happy to be here. Appreciate you having us.
Mike, thanks for having me. I'm Danny McCall with Die Drill. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah.
Sí, buenos días y buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Emanuel Campos, residente de más de 35 años aquí de la ciudad de Taft, condado de Kern. Quiero dar la bienvenida y hablar un poquito de mi negocio. Mi negocio es Monarch Fleet Services and Automotive. Tenemos poquito más de 11 años operando aquí en la ciudad de Taft.
So hi, I'm Eric Danens with Cornerstone Engineering, here with Mike Umbro. Mike, good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
I'm Rob Watson. I run Brown's Construction Service in Bakersfield, California. Oil field and commercial earthwork, grading and paving construction business. Been in town since the early 80s.
You got a long history in oil and gas.
Yes.
I've worked in many different sectors over my career. I've focused in oil and gas, and what I've realized is oil and gas professionals are environmentalists. From an industry perspective, we hire teams of biologists, of geologists, of hydrologists, teams of experts to identify resources and to produce in a responsible way and in a sustainable way.
I'm talking about California crude that comes right here from the great state of California.
We're at a point, I believe we're the cleanest producing oil in the world. I mean, we have the highest standards, I believe, in the world.
At one time, Midway Sunset Field was in the top 10 of producing oil in the United States, and that was as recent as 10 years ago.
And of course, the world are taught to hate oil now.
We believe in Kern County's right to produce domestic energy.
The oil industry has kind of had to step up and take care of the community, what Sacramento doesn't.
We're just importing more from places that don't have California's values, and yet our politicians keep telling themselves that this is what makes us feel good and feel like we're good people.
Bueno, la industria de energía que existe en el estado aquí de California, específicamente en el condado de Kern, es una industria que nos ha proveído a nuestras familias. Es una industria que tiene más del 60% de trabajadores de origen hispano. Son industrias que les proveen más de $80,000 al año de salario. Es una industria que provee comida, provee ropa, provee vivienda y nos ayuda a nuestras familias a salir adelante.
You look at our state, look at all the bordering states. They don't have high gas prices, gasoline prices. They don't have high electricity prices.
California production is dropping. When production drops, we're seeing prices go up across the board. It's affecting people day in and day out. If you're seeing the price of your commute going up, that's a direct result of these policies that are outpricing and hurting people. So we live in a county that has a high unemployment rate. And when we see these policies coming in, it's really having a negative effect on families day in and day out. So if you're having a hard time making ends meet, paying the bills in California, I think this is an issue that you should get fired up about because it's for you and it's for our future.
Our goal is the prosperity of Kern County and our region. I won't even draw the boundaries, right? Our region. And if that's your goal, then your time is spent around making sure that we have good jobs for that region.
The regulations have almost sprung us to a standstill. We cannot drill or replace our reserves, or it's just a matter of time till we kind of go out of business, and it's also really hurting Taft.
We started out as a service company to the drilling side of the business, but then we were suddenly stifled by regulations from the state, and it has had an impact on the business, definitely. We've had to maneuver in other directions so that we can stay viable, so we can support causes like this and still bring in tax revenue for the state and create jobs for my employees and their families and kids, and extremely important. So we've had to really maneuver the business, and luckily we found an avenue to do so, and I hope to be here for length of time coming.
No estamos haciendo nada para tratar la demanda de esta energía. Quiere decir que, como estamos platicando hoy, estamos consumiendo más petróleo de lo que consumíamos antes. ¿De dónde viene lo que compramos? Viene de otros países donde tienen un récord peor con los derechos humanos, con el bien ambiente, y ahorita tenemos barcos esperando descargar esa carga de otros países como Ecuador, otros países donde en realidad no tienen los mejores intereses de nosotros. ¿Por qué no producirlo aquí con una industria que responsablemente está sacando y ha sacado y sabe lo que está haciendo? Tiene generaciones ya trabajando en esto, proveyendo buenos trabajos para nuestras futuras generaciones.
It just seems to be there's more oversight than ever, and which makes it very difficult to get things through the process.
To say that you're going to drop off of oil and gas so quickly in advance to something else that might be higher risk seems foolish to me.
That revenue loss is painful and it's hurting because the vast majority of the top taxpayers here in Kern County and throughout the state, as well additional taxpayers, is their legs are being cut out from underneath them. So when we're seeing people, the way I see it, from local cities and counties needing to raise tax rates, the reason that's happening is because our oil production is going down. That is our tax base.
You know, I've got to give a shout out to Cal State Bakersfield and their program there, their biology program there. We're hiring really talented people out of that college to come to work for us. If everything picked up a little bit more, there weren't so many regulatory restrictions, we'd be hiring more people, doing more work. There's no doubt.
In our company, we used to invest half of what we made in drilling new wells and upgrading. And when you talk about drilling new wells or spending money, it takes people to do the work. So, you know, if we drill 100 wells, well, that's going to employ so many 100 people. So it's, you know, we import oil and all that, but if we produce oil here, yes, it would help the oil companies and the public, but it would help the working person.
We're rolling through the hills on the west side of the San Joaquin Valley, just left the monument to the oil field worker in downtown Taft, California. A lot of people, when I come to Taft and I tell them where I'm going, the first question is, where's Taft? And it amazes me because Taft and the west side of the southern San Joaquin Valley in central California is where 70% of our oil reserves rest. Sacramento would lead us to believe with their political rhetoric that all oil and gas production in the state of California is happening in downtown Los Angeles, in downtown Long Beach, and it couldn't be further from the truth. The jobs that are provided in these fields out on the west side are high-paying jobs that are paying people on average between $80,000 and $123,000 a year. This is not the most biodiverse ecosystem like the Amazon rainforest, where we import more crude from the Amazon region than we do produce from right under our feet. This is an area where you want to be producing oil and gas. We are not harming the environment. This has been happening for 130 years with no environmental impact. I'd make the argument it betters the environment. It built the town of Taft. It built the churches. It built the schools. It built the hospitals. It built the ER urgent care centers. It provides for the nonprofits that are teaching our children in high school, in grade school, at the junior college level. It's providing all of the benefits to these communities. And to simply say that we should shut down activity in a remote corner of the San Joaquin Valley where most Californians don't even know where it exists, it defies logic. There's no logical explanation for why they are kneecapping good, honest, working people. The characteristics of our reservoirs, we are producing heavy oil that is quote unquote dead oil. That means there's very little associated gas. So the environmental studies, quote unquote, that far left politicians in Sacramento are citing are often citing high pressure natural gas formations where there's tremendous amount of flared gas. The Energy Information Administration, the US EIA, will quote, and you see on their website, zeros for flared gas in California. So the studies that are being cited to shut us down come from other regions, which that's not science, that's not on the ground science, which is why we started Californians for Energy and Science, to do continuous air monitoring in these fields. So shutting down these fields effectively shuts down the lifeblood of this community. And that's why you see people moving out of the state of California. There are no hardworking blue-collar jobs left in this state. We're shutting down the permits. We're telling hardworking people, we don't want your work. We just want your taxes. We're increasing taxes to now pay for the budget deficit we're in. Why not stimulate economic activity in a place that's been developed for 130 years? The reason we're here as Californians for Energy and Science is to save our jobs, to save our livelihood, to save our communities from going broke. We don't want to go down with the budget deficit ship of California. That ship is sinking right now. We want to save California by producing more energy right here beneath our feet. It's right here below us. All of this infrastructure is a signal crying out to the community that this energy exists locally and it should be produced locally, and all that revenue and all the benefits, including environmental benefits, stay here in California. We are the stewards of our environment. We will protect this place. We don't need to rely on dictators in Saudi Arabia and Iraq to give us the energy we need at an inflated price. No, we want cheap, affordable, reliable energy produced right beneath our feet at home in California.